Hey guys, welcome back. We have a weekend energy update that we need to get into today. This weekend, we have some very interesting lineups coming into play for us. We have our once yearly Sun+Uranus conjunction happening in the sign of Taurus. However, because of the moon's placement this time around, the yearly Sun+Uranus conjunction is actually becoming a grand trine in Earth signs today. The moon will be transiting through the late degrees of Capricorn, trining the Sun and Uranus in their conjunction, and the South Node is currently in the later degrees of the sign of Virgo and has been in a trine with Uranus as well. So we have the South Node in Virgo, we have the Moon in Capricorn, and we have a conjunction between the Sun and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. It's probably going to be a weird weekend. Honestly, I would wager to say that it could be quite possible that the way that things physically look, physically are, like the state of things, the environment around us, things in our environment, could be changed, altered, edited, different between Friday and Sunday. Things may not be the same when we exit this weekend as they were when the weekend began. The fact that this Sun-Uranus is functioning as part of a grand trine in Earth signs lets me know that like literal physical change to the things tangibly around us could somehow be a facet of whatever's going on in the energy this weekend. It's also interesting because the South Node, like this is karmic endings. Like this can be loss, it can have to do with finances, resources, like things pertaining to some type of harvest or the way that things have been scheduled, managed, structured. The moon being in Capricorn is also quite telling, considering that Saturn ruling the sign of Capricorn is currently at 29 degrees of the sign of Pisces, the very last degree of the zodiac from the Western perspective. I don't know. I think there could be some major transitions or breakdowns in authority, like people stepping down, retiring, things being shuffled up, management changes underway, and this paring back, refining, downsizing that is ultimately setting things up for success and leading to some type of eventual growth. I don't know, you guys. Lots to talk about. There's lots of ways this energy is coming through. It's likely to manifest in a variety of ways. And let's take a look at it. Let's get into the report, put it all together, see if we can come up with some ideas of what this energy might be bringing to our experiences this weekend and as we prepare to enter next week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, May 16th, 2025. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we're just going to take a good look at what we have coming together energetically for us this weekend based on all these transits and aspects at play, and try to get a good idea of perhaps what is going on out there and what types of events and ongoings could characterize the nature of our weekend. So that's what we're doing, and we've got a lot to talk about this weekend. This is like a jump off point. This is a very like synchronistically, cosmically charged energy this weekend. That's literally like the best way I can think of to put it. Now, I do kind of want to say, like upfront preface this, this is like a short-term energy. I feel like things are not necessarily as they appear, okay? A lot of what is going on this weekend perhaps could be maybe like a bit jarring or like upset the comfort zones, shake foundations. There could be like a surface appearance of like loss or I don't know, like things not panning out perhaps as we thought they would. But this is like a very, very, very like cosmically corrective period that's underway right now. Like things are definitely being sorted out on these higher levels. There are pieces and people and parts and counterparts being like attracted and magnetized and drawn together for very specific reasons right now. And everything ultimately, to me, appears to boil down to this concept of removing blockages to growth. Things are being set up to succeed, to grow, to expand in like a better, more positive, productive, efficient, meaningful way somehow as we move forward, like from this point and beyond. And as a part of that process could really be some like paring back or downsizing, or again, like some like loss, release, ending element of things that is a highlight or that is like inducing this change, or that is like catalytic for what is to come following this. But I think that, like, despite appearances this weekend, maintaining faith is like crucial here, because there is like, this is corrective. Things are going to begin to grow in a positive direction following the activation of the way that this energy is coming together this weekend. And it's like, I mean, it's a Sun-Uranus conjunction, right? Like, that's primarily what we're going to be talking about in the report for today. That has been a primary energy that's been building all week. You may have had a very unusual week. There may have been like a nervous tension or anxiety this week. You may have had this kind of just like, I don't know, feeling that like something is coming, something's going to happen. And maybe that was sort of pointing you in the direction of this weekend when these alignments come into fruition on Saturday. Saturday is really the epicenter of this energy. We have the Sun-Uranus conjunction going on. And then, you guys know how I feel about the moon. She's doing it again. The moon just happens to be transiting through the sign of Capricorn, while the Sun and Uranus conjoin, you know, once yearly in the sign of Taurus, happens to be, like, I kid you not, at the exact degree range in the sign of Capricorn, another earth sign, that is going to put the moon at the exact degree, an exact trine to the Sun and Uranus in the sign of Taurus while they make their conjunction on Saturday. So the fact that the moon is like specifically involved with the Sun-Uranus conjunction and from the sign of Capricorn, that is, to me, indicating a lot. And then when we also add into it the fact that this is actually a grand trine, because we have had this ongoing Uranus South Node trine playing out as well. The South Node is currently in the sign of Virgo, has been trining Uranus in the sign of Taurus. To me, that has been a corrective energy and influence that has been underway for those past several weeks now, that has been playing a large role in these greater transitions and this greater transitional process that is also underway. Remember, the themes, the larger themes of endings and beginnings, like the end of some old way, old world, old structure, the end of an era, is just embedded in the energy field right now, and the energetic blueprints, like all of them, as they are coming into fruition, like day after day after day. And obviously, to me, you know, on this channel, we are narrating the shift of the ages. We are always, you know, we're looking at the astrology as it lines up for us on the day-to-day basis, but we are always also keeping in mind the greater cosmic story that is currently unfolding as well. The fact that we are experiencing a paradigm shift as it plays out. We are going through a transition and shift of ages right now. We are exiting the age of Pisces and emerging into the age of Aquarius. And, you know, those of us who are embodying reality on this planet right now are playing some role in anchoring these new frequencies that are coming in as a result of this larger shift and transition, by way of the way that these frequencies are changing our own energy bodies, and the way that that is shifting and altering the way that we're thinking about things, the way that we're acting, the way that we're behaving, the way that we're essentially like doing life and interacting with the larger universe and cosmic creation as a result. I mean, humanity over time creates any shift of ages because we essentially become a vessel for that new energy that represents that new age and reflect, you know, that altered archetypal dynamic of whatever age shifting into whatever age. Of course, ages are 2,000-year-ish periods of time. There's always, in my opinion, going to be a couple 100-year buffer between ages where, you know, we're gradually, incrementally becoming less of one thing and more of another thing, in terms of, again, like the way that our frequencies are tuned essentially within us, and therefore what we actually are as a result. And I just feel like so this is not an instantaneous process, right? This is a very gradual process that plays out over lifetimes and generations. But I do think that as of late, just the way that these energetic activations have been going on and the lineups that we have been experiencing in terms of sort of like the energetic adjustments that are being made that cause that greater transition to go on. It's been a very condensed period of energetic upgrades in that regard, okay, in that transitional regard. And we're going to start seeing that reflected back to us in terms of the way that people are therefore thinking, acting, behaving, doing life, and the way that reality is set up as we move forward. But this Sun-Uranus activation, being that it is also this grand trine in air signs, being that it is featuring the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon are like integral in the process of the shift of ages to me, from my perspective, because the nodes represent destiny and karma. They represent essentially like the karmic baggage that has been carried over from this previous age. On one hand, that would be the south node energy, and then the north node energy to me represents, you know, the fate, the destiny, where we're going, the path of evolution, the path of growth, once we release those karmic bonds that have tethered us to the, you know, the experiences and or the karma that has been generated throughout the course of that previous age that we are transitioning and emerging out of now. So when we've got these nodal activations going on, and again, like this is a process to me, in my perception, that happens gradually over time, incrementally. Again, like lifetimes and generations. It's, you know, I feel like it's, or perceive it as being like a couple 100-year buffer between the ages. So it obviously, like, throughout the years, when we have these nodal aspects being made year after year after year, it's like they're working on it, they're working on it, they're working on it, they're working on it. But the way that this specific nodal transit to me is coming in right now, and the fact that we have Uranus, the galactic fixer, the great awakener, the ruler of this Aquarian age, is coming in right now in the trine to the south node, that is representing this karmic release from, in the south nodes in the sign of Virgo, the way that things have been done, the systems, the protocols, the way that things have been organized and structured. And another thing about this, we have Saturn right now at the 29th degree of the sign of Pisces from the Western tropical zodiac perspective. Like, that is signaling or emphasizing the end also of a cycle of control dynamics, systems, order, structure, management, authority. And then with the Capricorn moon, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, being the third leg of this trine that happens to be coming exact just as the Sun and Uranus are coming to their conjunction in the sign of Taurus. I feel like there's some like breakdown or transition in the greater management structure and flow of things, who's in charge, how things have been done, the day-to-day flow, the workflow of things coming in suddenly, that is removing blockages to growth, that is causing these upgrades, that is introducing some sense of liberation or innovation or novelty, that is opening things up somehow to grow more, to expand more, to become more, and to do it in a way that is just like more productive, more efficient, more fruitful, that actually works better somehow moving forward. Again, like massive corrections to me emphasized here, and also this like transition in who's in control and the systems that are at play, like generally across the board. And I think that this is likely to apply to a lot of different areas of life, and there could be a lot of different themes that are presenting here, and we're going to talk about a lot of them. But the fact that this is happening in earth signs, I always notice when we have strong activations happening in earth signs, it has a tendency of actually presenting or manifesting as things happening in the physical 3D reality around us. So to me, seeing in a trine, like this is a cosmic facilitation. This is like things happening in a way that like produces results. It's assisting things. It's a harmonious flow of energy. I think that the physical form and structure and presentation and environment could be undergoing perhaps some type of big changes throughout the course of the weekend, and it could have to do with who's in charge, how things are going to be done, and there could also be sort of like an abrupt or sudden or financial or relational element of things. Another thing we've got going on right now, and I will touch on all of this again as I like get into my actual notes and the report for the day. This is really just my free flow of thoughts coming through right now on the topic. But we do have this ongoing Mars, Venus, and fire sign trine right now as well. Very, very relationship oriented week. Romance definitely in the air this week. Pursuing desires, going after what we want. People could really be changing on a dime, turning on a dime, quitting something in pursuit of something else that is more in alignment with their values. Authentic value could be something that is very relevant, and having the freedom to align with that could be something that people are pursuing this weekend. So all that being said, you guys, super just vibrant, busy, energetic environment out there. It could be a lot going on this weekend, and a lot of weird stuff going on this weekend, and a lot of like I said, you know, there's a strong emphasis on relationship dynamics, people, places, situations being drawn together at the specific time for some specific purpose. Nothing in the context of other people is without meaning, okay, this weekend. So just maybe something to carry with you and be aware of. But it's likely to be just a strange week, okay? And things are probably not going to go as planned. Unexpected endings, unexpected change indicated. Of course, you know, Uranus always is that energy that brings unexpected change, shocks, surprises. You know, expect the unexpected is the key phrase when we're talking about Uranian energy. But because of the trine to the South Node. The South Node in Virgo, the South Node is always karmic endings, okay? It's release. The South Node is what we need to let go of in order to evolve, in order to grow. It's also our karmic loops, our karmic lessons. It has to do with the past. It has to do with loss. It has to do with release. It has to do with endings. In the sign of Virgo, it's like what we're not going to continue to do, how things are not going to be scheduled, what our day-to-day life is not going to look like, how things will not be organized. This is like endings, release, finality, letting go, loss in the context of the way that we've been doing things to get a certain outcome or result. Virgo is a sign of the harvest, okay? Virgo has to do with the effort that we're putting into something to get something out. With the South Node there is a need to change the way that we're doing things. And I will also say, and I've been saying, I'm going to say more as we move through this report, get to the end of the report. You guys, there has never been a better time to edit your life. Lifestyle upgrades, lifestyle edits. Sorry, the trains are like really loud here where I moved. So you're probably going to be hearing a lot of trains in the backgrounds of my videos now. I hope it's not like too disruptive. They come by all the time. But yeah, the schedule, the organization, the protocols, even like also, right, with the Capricornian element and Saturn right now, the 29th degree of Pisces, the rules, the regulations, the structure, like something along those lines is going to change. So if you have been waiting for a period of time to change your life, change your job, change your day-to-day, like, and to make these cuts or make these alterations or make these edits in a way that like helps to increase productivity, increase efficiency, helps you get more out of what you're putting in, helps you to be healthier, helps you to feel like more productive or more fulfilled, or just like you are using your time and energy to get a better outcome or result, this is the time to do it. If you've been needing to change habits, if you've been needing to change routines, if you've been needing to quit doing things, you will be very, very supported in any endeavor along those lines as we move through the energy this weekend. And also physically, if you've been needing to like physically change or do something physical transformation, this also might be a weekend where that is just like organically transpiring, because with this earth sign trine, I'm telling you, like the state of things physically is likely to be in some type of flux. And along those lines as well, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like earthquakes or like strong storms or like literal like earth change things or things happening with the earth or within the earth that have some type of altering effect on the physical environment or something like that. I mean, the South Node, there could also be like loss as a result of some type of like earth calamity or, I mean, lightning storm. I don't know. So there is that potential as well. Like, but there's something physical about the environment that could definitely not be the same moving into next week as it was when we ended this week. This could also, of course, bring sudden change having to do with financial situations. Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus, you guys, these are the earth signs. These are all very financially oriented energies, resources, and I mean, the conjunction is happening in the sign of Taurus. This is resources, assets, the value of things as well. So financial situations and things also to do with like government or authority or tradition, rules, as I said, rules, regulations with that Capricorn moon influence. But Uranus liberates us from something. This is an energy that makes the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves for one reason or another. Again, like it can just hit us out of nowhere, can be totally unexpected. It is the lightning striking the Tower card, and it can, especially in the sign of Taurus, upset foundations, definitely like disturb the peace, you know, shake up the comfort zone and stuff like that. But it is another thing that this is doing. I mean, Taurus, this is fixed earth, okay? This is shaking things loose that have been stuck, fixed, stagnant for too long, that have been disabling, blocking, or preventing things from going and growing in the manner along which universe would ordain them to be flourishing right now. Okay, so again, like anything that's been stuck in place, held in place, cemented down, unable to move in a way that has been diminishing growth, this is likely to be a period of time where something comes through and breaks through that concrete or that boundary or that barrier, or just jostles things up enough that an amount of like movement or momentum can start to be made that is going to snowball and lead to some other greater necessary growth that is cosmically called for at this period of time. And again, like there could be some loss, of course, like that's associated with this or as a part of this, but the thing that we're losing is also likely to be the thing that was preventing us from becoming, you know, more than maybe we have been up until this point in time. The Capricorn element, the Saturn, I just like, it is so just perfectly placed. Astrology always does this to me. Like, it leaves me speechless. It leaves me utterly speechless often. Just the way that these like synchronistic alignments happen to play out simultaneously. It's like they're working together, you know what I mean? Like literally the moon could be anywhere. I always say this because it could be, because it's true. You know, the moon moves quickly. The moon goes through all 12 signs every month. So it's really just like a crapshoot. I think that's the word, where the moon is going to be like at any given period of time. Like it could literally be anywhere at any period of time, but like it always just happens to be so strategically placed whenever we have these, to me, aspects playing out that are of the, you know, because aspects, of course, you know, they affect us in our day-to-day lives and reality. But I always tell you guys, like in my perception, I'm considering the day-to-day, but also the day-to-day in the context of this greater unfolding cosmic story. And it's just like always so mystifying to me on the days where we have these like greater aspects coming in, like we do this weekend, that, you know, have their mundane personal impacts, but also seem to be like code or light activations, or like, I don't know, turning the gears, like just like some important part of like the real story, like the greater unfolding, like epic age cosmic tale, you know, that's unfolding as well. This is this lineup to me is one of those type of energies. Like, it is one of the important transits that has the transitory impact on our ability to, you know, move ourselves into that greater age of Aquarius. And just like the way that it's coming together, like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? We've already got the Uranus South Node conjunction, or South Node trine in Virgo and Taurus. Like, that alone is this very, very karmically corrective energy. We're talking about the South Node, which does represent that karmic burden carried over from the age of Pisces, right? Which needs to be released in order so that we can evolve in this new direction associated with the age of Aquarius. And we've got the ruler of the age of Aquarius, Uranus, in that trine, right? This is who is also the galactic fixer, the great rectifier, makes the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves. So it's like the ruler of this new age right now, applying directly in a harmonious, facilitating, supportive way to exactly what it is that we need to release in order to be able to become what that Uranian energy represents, right? To move into this new age of Aquarius. So that aspect in and of itself playing out right now, while we have also had Pluto enter the sign of Aquarius, Neptune just entered the sign of Aries for another 165-year transit around the zodiac, and now we have Saturn at the 29th degree of the zodiac from the Western perspective, and we have an actual Capricorn moon. And not just any Capricorn moon, who is at the exact right degree range to hit that trine exactly while the Sun and Uranus are together. And of course, the Sun is amplifying and highlighting that Uranian energy. So this is a massive time of corrections. It's likely to be something tangible, physical, recognizable, foundational in the 3D world and reality. Also, with Venus and Mars in their trine, something being seeded, something being conceived in the field right now. There's a very, very fertile energy for conception and something that's about to be birthed or grown or stepped into. Again, this emerging new reality, and it's going to be very novel and it's going to be very innovative. Another thing that we've got going on right now is Jupiter in almost an exact square to the nodes of the moon, while Uranus, the Sun, and the moon trine the nodes of the moon. Again, like, that is why all this nodal activity hitting at once, while we've got Uranus and Saturn also at play. Saturn at 29 degrees of the sign of Pisces, the very last degree of the zodiac. To me, I talked a bit about this in my last video. That is like breaking down authority, structure, boundaries, limitations. This, and I'll talk more about this probably next week. I'll do a video where I more so narrow in on the specific transit of Saturn from the last degree of the zodiac to the first degree of the zodiac. That is coming up here within the course of the next week or so. But that is, I mean, it's ending a 30-year cycle. On one hand, it takes about 30 years for Saturn to transit the entire zodiac. So that literally is bringing to an end a cycle of authority, control, structure, management that's been going on. The way that things have essentially worked and been done for the past 30 years is likely to be changing. And we're going to start a new process of management, control, structure as Saturn enters the sign of Aries and begins that new 30-year transit through the zodiac. But you know, in the like simultaneous presence of these other aspects and transits going on right now as well, it's talking about a greater breakdown in authority, a greater restructuring, a greater loss of control also. This is another thing with Saturn at 20, you guys. And I was talking about this in my video for the full moon. I've talked in my videos all week about it. This week is probably like all over the place. There is nothing really holding it all together this week. It's kind of a melee out there. Like, it is kind of a free-for-all. rules, again, like the whole thing. Saturn at 29 degrees of Pisces and in a conjunction to Neptune. It's not even that Saturn is just at 29 degrees of Pisces. He's also there in a conjunction to Neptune, again, which is one element that is telling me that this is actually lending itself to the greater Piscean paradigm that we're coming out of right now, like Saturn in the conjunction to the ruler of the sign of Pisces while at 29 degrees of Pisces. Like, this is a major epic ending, like end of a way, end of a mean, end of an era, end of a world type of situation that we've got going on with that Saturnian energy. But okay, Uranus is super spontaneous, Uranus is super impulsive, a little bit reckless, all over the place, you know, just kind of wiling out type of energy. And then Saturn at the 29th degree of the sign of Pisces, last degree of the zodiac. Saturn, right? Boundaries, limitation, rules, structure, regulations, control. No, none of that. None of that when we have Saturn at 29 degrees of the sign of Pisces, the very last degree of the zodiac. Like, that right now is on about like the lowest setting possible. So as I said, you know, things are probably going to be all over the place this week. You might find like even people, even earth sign people, okay, who are generally very self-regulated, very self-controlled or under control, or adhere to, you know, control and structures, or are very grounded. Like, even the most grounded among us are likely to be hovering a little couple inches above the ground and maybe like not exactly sure how to corral the energy or the situations or the people or the events that are going on around us this week. It is just, this is not a week where our attempts to implement like some type of control are going to be met with order and respect, okay? And that's another thing. Like, there's also probably a bit of like a lack of respect going on this week. Like, people aren't following rules. Like, this is Uranus, okay? This is the rebel. This is also like a very revolutionary type of energy going on. And again, like, it really doesn't matter which way we look at it, but the more you look at it, the more you see that it is literally being reflected by every other thing that is lining itself up out there for us right now as well. There is, we are at this weekend, I feel like, is introducing or enabling or facilitating or somehow a catalyst for some type of definite major change in the structure, the way that things are done, the systems, the methods, and who's in charge. Some type of breakthrough could definitely be coming through here. Again, Sun and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. This is breaking up stagnation. And we have this highly fertile energy going on the side with the Venus-Mars trine that is coming in right now. So breaking through barriers, breaking through limitations that have somehow stunted growth or creativity in the past. This energy is going to bring the restructuring of things, especially financial and economic matters, because of the Earth trine situation. And also with the Capricorn moon dynamic and the Saturn in the last degree of Pisces dynamic, this could be really impacting like the bigs out there, you know, like the Capricorn oriented situations, like the corporations, right? Like big business, big government, big agriculture, like big food production could very much be altered following this period of time. I'm seeing that, okay? But like big pharma, big banking, all of these could be subject to these sudden shifts and changes in management or protocols or rules or regulations or functioning or whatever that this is likely to bring. Because, I mean, as I've said, the South Node is lost, endings release, Virgo's the harvest, the way things are done and produced, and the general flow, the workflow. Capricorn's the government, authority, tradition, and industry, and Taurus is assets, resources, projects, and partnerships. I feel like, and again, like there could be some really like weird market stuff that's going on this week, but it does seem like some type of unexpected sudden drop, loss, like shocking losses maybe in terms of a profit or a harvest or a control, like who's in charge, again, the authority or the management behind something. But We have Jupiter in the background, right? Like, it's not just the South Node Uranus trine with the sun and the moon there, indicating like some type of loss or release, or like just big time karmic change that's taking place right now. Jupiter is also hitting the nodes almost exactly by square. This is stabilizing things. I think to an extent, growth and expansion are going to be somehow related to whatever like change or paring down or structuring or downsizing might be going on right now. It really is like we might just have to go down to get back up even higher. Jupiter right now also is at 25 degrees of Gemini. I talked about this in my last video. That Sabian symbol is a man trimming palms, which I feel like is very in alignment with the overall general theme here. Like, we are cutting back and paring down and getting rid of and putting on the chopping block, making cuts to what we like can no longer sustain if we're going to grow healthy, if we're going to grow larger, if we're going to become more abundant and more beautiful and just, you know, have better outcomes and results. Something's got to go. We got to get rid of the dead ends. We have to trim off the excess so that what remains can actually flourish. I don't know. That's literally what, to me, this all boils down to, because Uranus is a galactic fixer in the sign of Taurus, removing blockages to growth, unlocking true, authentic resources and potential. South Node in the sign of Virgo with the trine, cosmic facilitation, the changes that are the necessary changes taking place in order for this to occur. And then with that Capricorn dimension as well, with Saturn at 29 degrees, it's like the order, the system, the structure, the box, like needing to be broken through in order for this growth to occur. And we gotta get rid of some stuff that has been keeping us limited, held back, or stunting our growth. So I don't know, some type of loss, release, or ending, or just general change in terms of what's been being done and what we were getting out of it. Karmic endings and some long-standing structure and order of things. But as I was saying, you know, we need to maintain the faith. Jupiter is square the nodes as well. Like, there is some, and Uranus ultimately always puts things right, even if we can't perceive it in the moment. Uranus is the silver lining planet. It brings blessings in disguise. And with Jupiter there, Jupiter also brings blessings and good fortune and expansion and growth and truth and wisdom. And it supersizes things. With the nodes, this is, you know, supersizing both the need to, you know, let go and release some things, but also what that leads to once we are able to persevere through and overcome whatever challenges associated with leaving the past in the past and stepping into the future. Faith is also a major part of the Jupiterian dynamic. So we need to have faith in the future right now, you guys, and it is time to turn the page on something. I think a lot of authority figures could be stepping down here or retiring or on the chopping block. It's interesting because if you guys have been following the astrology, you know that Uranus has actually been at a very notorious degree in the sky. The position of the fixed star Algol, this fixed star is associated with the Medusa archetype and can have a lot to do with decapitation, losing one's head, losing our mind, and in this case, I think it could be making reference to the cuts that are being made in terms of who's been in control, how things have been being done, what has been just like taking up space and taking up time and taking up resources and not contributing to the overall product, the harvest that comes as a result. Definitely transitions in terms of who's in charge and the way things are done, maybe especially in the government and corporate domains. On a personal level, though, and now I'm going to go back to talking about how heavy this energy is on lifestyle alterations, releasing what is not working or producing results. This is not just about, you know, the nature of things in terms of the business and economic and governmental dimensions of our reality, although it is likely to be very evident there as well. This is also meant to apply to us on an individual and personal level, especially in terms of, as I was talking about earlier, we anchor and become the transition and shift of ages through our overtime destiny to house these new frequencies, because we happen to be the people that are here right now. And as a result of our personally changing vibration, we also alter ourselves, and that is what is happening here, and that is what we are being asked to do. Most people are going to be doing this spontaneously without having any idea of why they're doing it, but I bet a good portion of people wake up on Saturday and just decide that they're going to do something different. They're going to make some type of change. It's earth signs. This could like literally be in terms of physical appearances. This could also very, very much be value-based changes, realizing that what used to be important to them is no longer, and things that perhaps they had been neglecting or overlooking in the past are suddenly some type of a priority, and really changing and restructuring their lives as a result of that. Deciding also to like get healthier, take better care of themselves, pay more attention to the physical body and the physical vessel. This is also significantly indicated here. And it is also very financial and material as well. We could see sudden financial, relational, remember the supercharged relational component of things currently playing out, also sudden financial, relational, or value-based changes and awakenings could be triggering these lifestyle edits. Remember, Uranus is the planet ruling sudden awakening, and there could just be things happening this weekend also that are catalytic for realizing or being motivated to make some type of change moving forward. And these are probably big changes, okay? Especially with Jupiter squaring the nodes as well. Like, these are like big foundational lifestyle changes that I actually think alter the course and direction of events and the way that our life is going to proceed going forward. Suddenly, as I was mentioning earlier, breaking patterns, habits, and routines that may have controlled us or structured our lives in reality, and actually, while they may have been providing security or comfort or stability somehow, actually have also been more holding us back, holding us down, holding us in. The quintessential lightning striking the Tower card in the tarot, right? Like, that has to do with being suddenly released from the thing that has been, on one hand, keeping us safe, keeping us comfortable, but on the other hand, holding us back from perhaps the life that we're truly meant to be living. And that is what we're not allowed to do anymore. We are not allowed to like sleep on ourselves or our potential anymore. We, I think, are going to find it harder and harder to avoid our own reality, our own authenticity, our own personal nature. As we move forward, this new energy is going to require a greater aptitude towards or inclination towards self-actualization. And if we are avoiding that, or if we are neglecting that, I think that we're not going to be allowed to escape reality and ourselves and like our own authentic purpose anymore to the same extent that we have been as we move through literally the past 2,000 year Pisces age, and even the past several, 100 years and generations, even as we've been exiting this energy. Because I feel like literally up until like this period of time, maybe like the last couple of decades and the couple of decades to follow, and like I kind of think like within this 10-year period specifically, the scales I think are really kind of being tipped from the emphasis and the dominance still remaining in that Piscean frequency to a more dominant Aquarian frequency that is just now beginning to take hold and tip the scales. And like from essentially, I feel like this point, 2025-ish and going forward, we are going to continue to be weighted more and more and more on the Aquarian end of the frequency dominance that's going to continue to build over the next 2,000 years. So I actually think as of Pluto's entrance into the sign of Aquarius not too long ago now, The scales began to tip, the power began to shift, and whereas even up until like our entire lives in this body, up until this point in time, things may have supported us being more absent from our own personal purpose and destiny. From this point going forward, it's not going to be avoidable anymore. And the more we try to hide from that, the more we're going to suffer, I think. The more that we are willing to look at ourselves, fix our issues, be accountable, be disciplined, be responsible, and move along a path that cultivates and emphasizes self-actualization and purpose and a greater service. Also, moving to the age of Aquarius, all about, you know, the service to humanity ultimately. I think we're going to find ourselves cosmically supported in ways that we wouldn't have anticipated. Okay. And you may find that to be something that you are noticing more and more in your own life and experience as we move through this period of time. And there could be elements of that type of thing going on this weekend as well. So, you know, patterns, habits, routines, the ways of doing things in the past, not working anymore. Great time to make changes. People changing schedules, plans, jobs, diets, ways of doing things, ways of thinking about things. South Node also in the sign of Virgo. You guys, this is ruled by Mercury. This is about our thought patterns that are associated with the systems and the methods and the protocols and the way that things are done. Other people in relationships likely to be very, very involved in this as well somehow. We do have Venus and Mars, as I continue to say, in a trine aspect together. Like, that's crazy. Also, couples could be like making these lifestyle changes together. Very, very supported here. This could be an inner sense of integration and wholeness, like an internal fusion of divine feminine and divine masculine energy that is just making us feel more whole and powerful, and therefore more so able to take control of our lives and like make these type of changes. It could be also with Venus and Mars in the trine. And I'm talking about Venus and Mars because remember, Uranus and the Sun are conjoining the sign of Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So what's going on with Venus actually is playing into the nature of this whole Earth sign trine that's going on right now. And so therefore, you know, it could be the couple situation. It could be the internal fusion or merging of energies within us that is empowering us to do this. It could be part of the pursuit of something. Venus in Aries about pursuing desires, and then Mars with Venus is also pursuing desires. So it could be part of the pursuit of something that we desire or are passionate about, which is motivating us to make these changes. It could be, you know, friends, social groups, motivating each other maybe in some type of fun or creative or like energized, inspired way. Some like other people that are inspiring us to make these changes. But either way, I think that this is talking about people kind of getting their stuff together maybe as we move through this period of time. But, you know, Grand Earth trine, it does feel like dropping something like a bad habit and not looking back. Okay, people are going to be cutting ties again, like on the chopping block. What is not working? Who is not working? How is it not working? Let's figure it out and make these cuts, make these changes, not wasting time. Let's do this quickly, efficiently, and keep it moving. I think that's the vibe. So it's an earth sign trine. It's going to make a physical impact. It's going to shake things up. As I said, like literal legit earthquakes could be coming with this. There does seem to be a loss or decline in some harvest or profit indicated, but it does also feel non-permanent. Okay, I feel like this is transitional. I feel like this is transitory. And I do think that despite the weirdness of this concept, these, like whatever that is actually setting us up for some type of greater success in the future somehow, with Jupiter also squaring the nodes. Again, Jupiter at 25. Gemini, a man trimming palms. It's getting rid of the dead growth to encourage the healthy growth. It is removing blockages to growth, which has literally been my theme song out here since like 2019 when Uranus entered Taurus-ish around that time from the Western perspective. So I think this is a day or a weekend of transformation, you guys. It's being like suddenly motivated to clean things up, to get them in order, to get rid of anything that's taking up unnecessary time or space or whatever. Demolition day, renovation day, makeover day, clearing out the clutter day, taking things to the dump day, fixing up the garden, fixing up the yard day, getting on top of financials or financial matters day, making physical changes to the world around us to set us up for some type of improved situation or success moving forward, even if it means that we need to cut something loose or let something go. This is very much the death of the old way, the old world, the old structure, the old system, the old just format or protocol or organization somehow, and the emergence of novelty, innovation, and expanded potential and opportunities. The Venus-Mars trine is lending a ton of creative energy applied to what is being changed or cleaned up or gotten rid of here somehow. Relationships and connections, again, I'm gonna continue to emphasize this, are a primary theme highlighted this weekend as well. The actual alignment degree where the Sun and Uranus are conjoining is the Sabian symbol for 28 degrees of the sign of Pisces, or no, 28 degrees of the sign of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a woman pursued by mature romance. So Venus and Mars are in a trine. Venus is ruling the placement of the conjunction. Venus obviously rules relationship dynamics and other people. Venus and Mars rule romance and the relationship dynamic between the masculine and the feminine energy, obviously. And we have a Sabian symbol that is specifically speaking to a woman pursued by mature romance, which would be in alignment with these upgrades that are going on right now and this maturation process that's also underway. Saturn is at the 29th degree of the sign of Pisces. There is some lesson that has been ongoing for the past 30 years that we are concluding right now. Some evolution, some growth, some graduation, passing some test. That is a part of these personal changes that are underway right now as well. So I don't know, as I've been saying all week, this is a time to me with all the nodal activity as well and the emphasis on relationship dynamics of some very divinely timed, divinely aligned, divine intervention type of stuff when it comes to relationship connections, magnetism, attraction, and things happening between people. There is this magnetism that seems to be present in the energy field right now that is pulling counterparts together. Specific people being brought together for specific purposes related and pertaining to either removing blockages to growth or supporting a process of growth in alignment with authentic potential. That is for some reason being cosmically ordained at this period of time, but it's not really for some reason. We know what the reason is. It's a part of this greater unfolding transition of ages that is underway as well. So there could be some strange, shocking, unexpected, or unusual relationship dynamics at play this weekend that may break from tradition or convention or just like totally hit us out of nowhere or change or restructure our lives in some type of a way, or maybe just our day or our week. But regardless, they're likely to be impactful. Again, I've been saying this, I probably already said it a couple times in this report today. I don't see or sense like a tremendous level of permanency involved in the ongoings right now. But that does not diminish the meaningfulness of connections that are being aligned at this moment. They are a catalyst, I think, for necessary change and necessary growth. And being present in the moment to me is, that's always the thing, right? We always need to be present in the moment, and that is truly where the power lies. But in this specific energetic dynamic especially, I think that we kind of just need to be open and receptive and take things as they are and for what they are, and not try to apply a level of permanency or expectation or like project them into some future where we still maintain an attachment to them. This is Uranian energy. It's like here and then it's not. Okay, but while it's here, it's very impactful, it's very purposeful, and it literally changes everything, but it's not meant to stick around forever as well. So there's that. Overall, we could see major fluctuations with markets of all kinds, corrections and paring back, sudden dips and losses, but gains are likely going to be the actual outcome of those things occurring in these moments now. One final note, I feel as though because of the placements and the planets involved, this is likely to be like very heavy on food production, agriculture, food harvest, trade deals, growing practices, health, nutrition, and maybe changing methods that have been used for long periods of time in order to like make these practices more healthy, more productive, more like beneficial to, I don't know, the body, or something about the food supply, the food chain, agriculture, the way that things are being done, I think is going to get some type of upgrade that is actually for the better. Food production, food manufacturing, sudden change. I feel like that is a definite highlight with this. Things are being reshuffled, restructured, and cleaned up for sure. Very strange times indeed, you guys, but novelty and innovation are going to be, and expansion and growth are going to be the outcomes of whatever it is that is setting itself up or coming into play this weekend. So that's what I have to say, you guys, about all of this astrology. Again, I do find this to be a quite impactful activation that we have going on energetically right now. I think that, I mean, I don't know how many times I need to say it, probably no more times, but the state of things is likely to be in flux and change throughout the course of the weekend or throughout the course of this week into next week. So I think I'm going to stop talking about that stuff now and get us a synchronicity card. I'm asking God, Spirit, Universe for one additional piece of guidance or advice. What should we keep in mind? What should we consider? What do we need to know? What would be the best thing to remind ourselves of as we move through this activation window this weekend, this transitional window, this Age of Aquarius activation point? That's how I'm seeing it. Oh, look at that. Imagine that. What does it say? What does it say, you guys? It says root out negativity, which is what we're doing. We're getting rid of everything that is functioning as a blockage to growth. Root out, pull down, destroy, Jeremiah 1:10. You must root out, pull down, and destroy all of your negative attitudes, false beliefs, erroneous opinions, and ill will of every kind. You must... Sorry, you guys. This, again, a lot of times this stuff just continually, perpetually renders me speechless, the way that universe literally communicates. And it's not just with me. I know you guys have these experiences as well, but like, it doesn't matter how many times it happens. When I just get done literally like doing an hour going on and on and on about how we have to like alter our lifestyles in order to be more productive and efficient, to like remove blockages to growth, to help us get more in alignment with authentic potential. And then like I literally shuffle these cards and it actually says you must completely alter the way you do things in your home and business. I'm just like, I hear you. I got it. Got the memo. Check, check. Do everything from a standpoint of the law of love and divine harmony. You will experience an enormous change in all phases of your life. You will meet all problems with faith in God and you will overcome. So there it is, you guys. Maintain the faith. This is the time for making big changes to put us on a better track, to experience like a greater sense of purpose, a greater sense of fulfillment. And honestly, I think that like we're going to be attracting people, places, situations that support that process as well as we move forward through this period of time, if we are making a good faith effort, especially to align with the cosmic call right now and make these changes. So there it is, you guys. It seems pretty clear to me. Root out negativity. that's what I have to say today. A message from the stars, our synchronicity guidance, it's all the same. So we've got the assignment, and that's what I'm gonna say today. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys, share it with your friends if you think that they would also enjoy or appreciate this type of astrology content. Leave me comments. I'm so grateful for your presence on my channel. You guys know I really appreciate when you let me know what's going on with you out there. If you are having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in this video or any of these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. That's super valuable information to me, and I really appreciate, you know, your contributions and your presence on my channel and letting me know what's up with you guys out there. If you want to know what's on this here whiteboard, I have a Facebook group linked in my description box below where I post images of those boards. That's where you can find them if you're interested. Also, I want to give a shout out to the jewelry company Otter. They are a small family run jewelry company out of California. I am wearing a few of their different bracelets today. They make crystal jewelry. I have a selenite bracelet, I have a citrine bracelet, I have a morganite bracelet, and I have this howlite white solitaire bracelet, gold bracelet with white stone right there as well. If you would also like to get some really nice beaded gemstone jewelry and support a small family business, and it's also a great way to support my channel, I have a promo code for 20% off linked in my description box below, and there's also a link down there. You can click that link and you'll get 20% off your order as well. So that's what I have to say. Come back with me, you guys, on Monday. We have another week of astrology to get into. This is going to be another week where that Venus-Mars energy is really spicing things up out there. It's going to be another very energized week, and I will be back to talk all about it. So you don't want to miss it. I will see you next time, guys. Have a beautiful weekend, and until then, bye.